It is the 2nd of February, Saturday. Let's switch that screen over. It is Saturday, the 2nd of February. Good afternoon, everyone. Let's get rid of that soundtrack. And we are getting ready to play one of the all-time classics. This one has been long awaited. Rasso, Nico, welcome everyone to the stream. Yeah, I guess we could have set that up as the waiting image. Maybe we should for future KOTOR streams. There definitely will be some. We will not be finishing this game in one day. That would be a feat I have yet to achieve in all my playthroughs. Now, Knights of the Old Republic is of course an old game. Let me figure out exactly what year it was released in. That would of course be 2003, which means this game is more than 15 years old. Can you believe it? 15. That is so old. Now, as such, it is a little finicky playing it at higher resolutions, but I spent a little bit of time setting up the whole thing. And as soon as I press this button, we should be good to go in full 1080p glory. And at last, we saw. Indeed we did. Here we go. Let me switch that over to the game. Smaller webcam. You guys should be able to see everything and this should play absolutely fine. Now, the flawless widescreen application that we are currently using to stretch out the game is almost perfect. It almost has no issues whatsoever. There are a few tweaks here and there that have to be made for the sake of playability and of course because the original game does not stretch to 1080p. Now, this doesn't actually matter most of the time. However, when switching in between scenes and for example when it displays cutscenes when you're hopping between planets, there is the very occasional crash, which basically means that we will have to save often, which we will be doing of course. Now, gameplay wise, this run we're going to do something I've never done before, which is an intelligence based build. Usually I just went in as a guardian and as a soldier, basically guns blazing, swooshing swords and all that stuff, but this time I want to try something I've never done before, to keep the game a little bit novel for myself. Also, as a returning player, I figured it would be nice to install the restored content patch, which of course also exists for Knights of the Old Republic 1, not only for number 2, even though for number 2 it is clearly far more popular, since that game was woefully unfinished. KOTOR 1 does indeed also have one. There are a couple of other mods installed, nothing too fancy really. Just a couple of texture resolution patches, which basically makes everything look just that little bit crisper. I was considering adding a mod that would overhaul some of the older models in the game, specifically weapons for example. There are some absolutely wonderful mods which overhaul the weapon models and making them look a little bit better. Now, I decided against that because, well, to be entirely honest, I think that the lower poly weapon models just add to that old school aesthetic, and I did not want to mess with that in any way. Now, let me see real quick if this is fine for you guys. Now, let me see real quick if this is fine for you guys. Alright, that should be perfect. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's get into it. New game. has been a while. It has been a while. Now, an intelligence-based build in this game, of course, starts off with the proper class. You can pick between the soldier, the scout, and the scoundrel. We will be playing a scoundrel. Now, the game at some point does give you a warning that this is more for the more advanced players, the players who have already played this game a bunch, and of course, that applies to us. So, soldier is of course the guy you go in with high constitution, you've got a lot of health, you've got a lot of armor, you are wearing heavy armor, you just smash into battle with whatever weapon you wish, and you just try to smash everything down. Now the scout does that similarly, but is also quite skilled at other things, stealth most particularly. And you can do quite a bit of fancy stuff with that. Kind of a mixed playstyle. However, the scoundrel is someone that really tries to talk his way out of every situation, and if possible tries to apply skills to avoid combat entirely if possible, and then reach his objective that way. Now we are going to be playing as the scoundrel. Now we are of course going to pick a custom character. Portrait. Most important thing in this game. You're never going to see your face anyway. Now all the portraits in this game are somewhat derpy looking. If you have played this game, you will know. Now in my very first playthrough, I went with this because I figured this was the most reasonable looking head out of all of them. This actually kind of looks like one of those generic Jedi faces. Yeah, I think we gotta go with this one. I mean, we gotta take it back. We gotta take it back to the old school. Attributes. Now this is where we set up our foundation, our base for our playthrough. Attributes of your character apply bonuses or penalties to everything from combat to skill checks to force powers. Check each attribute to see what aspects of the game it can affect. Now I did spend some time looking through these so that I was completely prepared for this. The thing we want to focus on, of course, is mostly intelligence. Now the issue with this is that as soon as you go over 14, these start costing 2 points, but we also get a +2 modifier. And higher than that, +3, but then again it starts costing more. Now I have tried to run with a 18 intelligence, and you do get a ton of skill points. However, the amount of points that costs you is just not quite worth it. So we are going to stick to 16 intelligence. This will give us a good number of skills to pick. And we'll be on our way from there. Now wisdom is pretty important, of course. Especially for a Jedi who wants to use a lot of force powers, which of course we will. But since we're also a wet paper bag, we do want some constitution in there. At least to 12. At least. Strength and dexterity I will put at 10. Dexterity in particular I would probably want a little higher than that, but again you do not have that many points to spend on it. Now, as someone who wants to talk his way out of basically every situation in this game, if possible, there are some great charisma checks in this game that can net you either a lot of money, a lot of good items, or great situations in which you can get either of those even further. So charisma is definitely something we want quite a bit of. Definitely 14. Now that leaves us with 2 more points. And I'm thinking of putting them into dexterity, though constitution is definitely not a wrong pick here. Especially because we are already going to have that little health. Because of course, as a scoundrel, you do not get a lot of HP leveling up. Now we could put it into wisdom as well. This wisdom, of course, basically tells you how many force points you're going to get, how much you gain leveling up. I don't know if it is retroactive. I don't think so. So it's good to start off with a high wisdom, which is also the reason we are picking a high intelligence from the start and not work our way up. Because every time we level up, of course, this will come into effect and give us that +3 modifier to the amount of skill points we can get. That of course works with wisdom and such as well. Now, this is really the wet paper bag type build. I mean, our constitution may be 12, but that is really not all that great. Do we really want to roll with this? Intelligence 16, that's set. That's not going to change. It's not going to go down. It's fine. Now, what I said before about this costing quite a bit now really works. For example, I have 6 points to spend now, which I can dump into all of these. If I had 2 more intelligence, all those points are now gone. By the way, a +4 modifier is amazing. You will be skilling up very quickly. But of course you are pretty much completely garbage at everything else. If you really want to go hard mode in this game, you can do that. But we will not be suiciding ourselves today, good sir. No, thank you very much. As such, I also think I'm going to rein in the wisdom a little bit. And we are going to put that into either dexterity or constitution. Dexterity giving us higher dodge, of course. And constitution simply giving us more HP. Constitution represents health and resilience. A high constitution adds modifier to the vitality points gained at each level up. This is important for everyone, but essentially for soldiers and Jedi Guardians. Dexterity measures agility and reflexes. A high dexterity adds modifiers to the ranged attack rolls, which are blasters and grenades, and increases a character's defense rating, making them harder to hit. Now, dodging everything that comes at you is of course quite important. However, being hit and then not having the health to deal with it is a problem. Well, Kovnik, welcome, mate. Go intelligence only. That will not be happening today, good sir. We will die a horrible, horrible death. I can now spend 6 skill points to up our intelligence to 18, giving us a +4 modifier instead of a +3. But again, that would basically be suicide. So, that will not be happening today. I think I want to dump this into Constitution because you already get so little health. Then again, not being able to hit anything with your blasters is a bad choice. Anyway, we will not be going that big on our lightsabers. At least not at the start yet. Melee weapons as a scoundrel is not really what you want to use because you will be in close combat, which means you are going to be targeted a lot. And as someone who does not have the health to deal with that, you are obviously setting yourself up for failure there. So I think a little bit of dexterity will be useful here. Basically giving us that little bit extra dodge and a little bit of extra hit chance on our blasters. So the end result, strength, no modifiers, dexterity +1 mod, constitution +1 mod, intelligence 16 with a +3 modifier, this is looking very pretty. Wisdom of 12 and of course a charisma of 14. Our skills. Each of your character's skills has a number associated with it. This is the skill rank and determines how good the character is with that skill. When using a skill to perform an action, the rank is compared against the difficulty check number. For example, to open a lock with a DC of 15, you need a skill rank in a security plus wisdom modifier plus a d20 roll. If the total is 15 or greater, the lock is opened. Now, this game of course works with the old Dungeons & Dragons style of skills. We have quite a few skills to spend right now. This is great. Stream is still called the Dutch's Dungeon and categorized as a Darkest Dungeon stream. If you refresh the stream, that should update. Now, Persuade. Absolutely something I love. This skill basically goes all the way to the max every time I play this game. Repair, useful, but it costs us 2 points. Now, luckily we have the points to spend. However, I would first like to up a few other things. Now, computer use also costs 2, which I'm not a fan of. Demolitions, only 1. Stealth, only 1. I don't quite like the stealth builds in this game. Not because they're not effective, because they are. But because they basically give you a one hit which does a tremendous amount of damage, and after that you are revealed. And if there are multiple enemies, you are going to be in a bad spot. Now, awareness we're going to up to 4 as well. I think we will up repair to 2 and computer use as well. Treat injury, pretty useful. Related attribute, wisdom, which means that we gain more health every time we treat our injuries, depending on our wisdom. Now, our wisdom is fairly high. This also costs 2 skill points, by the way. So we will be putting this into security. And the next... Ooh, demolitions. I'm not sure. Let's see. Does this actually add more damage to grenades? Demolitions can be used to set, recover, or disarm mines. Such devices are either of low DC 15 to set, medium DC 20 to set, or high difficulty DC 25 to set. Attempting to disarm the mine adds a +5 to the DC. Attempting to recover the mine adds +10 to the DC. The skill cannot be used untrained. Can be used to set, recover, or disarm mines. So this does not actually affect your grenades, which is unfortunate. Which kind of makes me want to save these skill points. If that is even possible. You have not spent all of your skill points. These will not be saved, and these will be saved, and you may spend them the next time you gain a level. Do you wish to continue? Okay, so we can start off with a stealth build if we really wanted to, but again, I don't really like that. I mean, we can go with like 1 point just so we can activate it. Yeah, the stream should be fine. I did set that up beforehand yearly. Now, treat injury. I would love to, instead of have treat injury, up one of these skills more. Especially one of the other skills that cost 2, such as repair or computer use. Now, starting off with at least a little bit of stealth is useful for the early game, so I think it is almost mandatory that we have at least 2 there. I'm not going to up this to 4 because I want these 2 skill points for something else, and demolitions is just the worst. Well, our demolitions is the worst, of course. I guess we can pour 2 in here just to be safe. Now we can set this to 2, but again, I would love to have this in something else. So, we're going to OK, and we're going to go to our feats. Some feats allow you to use special items like heavy armor or implants, which are of course the neural implants which you can use to boost stats. Other feats modify saving throws and skill checks during the game, and some feats, power attack, are used during combat. Check the description for details on a specific feat. You have been granted the following at this level: Sneak Attack 1 and Scoundrel's Luck. So that's where the stealth gameplay comes into play. Stealth Attack 1 deals 1 to 6 points of extra damage to the attack when the target cannot respond to the attacker. So that's basically when you are stunned or when you are first coming out of stealth. The extra damage is applied to attacks made from behind the target, attacks made against stunned or otherwise immobilized targets, and any attacks made while in stealth mode. Combat cancel stealth mode, but the first attack receives the bonus. Sneak attack only works if the target is within 10 meters. So you cannot snipe away from long range, sadly. The extra damage is not multiplied in the case of a critical hit. Alright, so that is 2 to 12, and that must be 3 to 18. Sadly, it still only works within 10 meters, so you basically have to go melee, which of course we don't like as a scoundrel, especially with our constitution. Scoundrels have a knack for getting into trouble, but to compensate, they also have an incredible instinct for survival. This manifests as a truly useful +2 to defense. This is then +4, and this changes into +6. So that basically makes us harder to hit, which then further works with our agility. Now, I do believe that I have a mod installed which lets me pick all of these starting feats. Which is pretty useful, because you can basically, again, pick all your own stuff. But you have to be careful not to set yourself up for failure, because if you, for example, do not have any of the weapon skills you are going to be in a world of trouble. Now, to start off with, you obviously want to be able to wield melee weapons and at least blaster pistols. So these are two almost mandatory feats that you have to get. Toughness is useful. This feat gives the character +1 extra vitality point every time they level up. This bonus is retroactive for levels previously gained. This is very useful, not quite at the start, because obviously you will not have your levels yet, but later in the game this becomes very attractive, especially for us, the wet paper bag. Implant level 1. We definitely want this later in the game. I don't think you start off with implants yet, so we cannot use this. Gearhead. These are one of the skill-based feats, which are great. This feat gives a +1 skill point to repair, security and computer use, which is basically exactly what I want. Because these are, of course, useful throughout the game. Maybe it is worth getting one of the melee or ranged attacks as well. Now, in this game I have always found that the ability Power Blast and Sniper Shot were not quite as useful as Rapid Shot. Mostly because at the end of the tech tree, you, for example, Power Blast. This adds a +10 damage to your next blaster or missile attack, but imparts a -3 penalty to hit. Used to quickly dispatch groups of easy to hit opponents. Now, the upside of this is of course the extra damage, but the downside is that when you are already equipped with weapons that deal a ton of damage, reducing your attacks to just 1, because that's what Power Blast does, not only reduces your chance to actually multiply your damage, because of course you can hit multiple shots, but it only adds +10 damage, which later in the game there are some weapons which will deal a tremendous amount more if you simply attack with them more. So that is where Power Blast starts losing out to Rapid Shot. Now, Sniper Shot has the same problem. There is a fairly decent chance that you actually crit with this and then stun the enemy, which again is very useful, but again it also only attacks once, whereas Rapid Shot does not have that problem. So Rapid Shot is definitely something I like more personally. This feat allows a character to make an extra ranged weapon attack during the round. And that's the whole story. Characters suffer a -4 to defense while using this feat and for 3 seconds afterwards. Now, you'll be more vulnerable while you use this, but I think it is worth getting regardless. The same of course goes for Flurry, Critical Strike and Power Attack. It is basically the same story, only this is of course for melee. Now, I would like to be dual wielding weapons. So dual weapon fighting is almost mandatory since it offsets the penalty you gain for dual wielding weapons. Now, armor proficiency. This feat allows characters to wear light armor. Characters without this feat cannot wear light or heavy armor. Soldiers receive this feat for free. Wookiees and droids cannot wear armor suits. Now, again, staying alive rather important, obviously, so I think we will have to go with the light armor. Caution. This is one of the skill feats. 1 point to demolition and stealth. Now, we did kind of spec into these to survive the early game, but I don't think we quite require this just yet. Empathy. This feat gives a +1 point to persuade, awareness and treat injury. That is absolutely useful, obviously. But we don't have that much more to spend, so we should be careful. And maybe we should not have picked Rapid Shot so quickly. So rapidly, if you will. I think the armor proficiency light is important for keeping us alive, and getting either empathy or caution will be useful for our skills, and I think empathy will be the more useful of those. And of course it gives us that coveted persuade point. Now, I'm going to try not to go too much into melee, at least at the very start of the game. So again, Flurry, not that useful. You will see me sit into skill menus quite a bit, looking over the skills, trying to find out what exactly the best choice is, since I do like stats, and I believe they give you an edge when you have set them up correctly. Again, fight toughness is not something we want right now. Dueling is of course if you want to focus on single weapon combat, which we are not going to do. So right now we can wield blasters, melee weapons. Our stealth is pretty decent. Implants. I don't think you get them at the start of the game, which means they're not useful quite yet. Conditioning. This feat provides a +1 bonus to all saving throws, reflecting the character's excellent physical condition. Yeah, I think we are going to go with empathy here. Not only gives us a bonus to treat injury, but of course persuade and awareness as well. All of these are very useful. Awareness, of course, gives you unique dialogue options and lets you spot things like mines, which you would otherwise be running straight into. Which, of course, our character absolutely cannot have happen, because then we shall die. Then, the second most important part of this game, which is the name. Which, just like the portrait, you are basically never going to ever actually see, because nobody in this game, of course, ever speaks your name. Now, luckily my very Dutch name of Jeroen is already very uniquely suited to look very Star Wars-y. And what I found is that you only have to change like 2 things, which is add 1 apostrophe and remove 1 E, to get a very decent name there. Jeroen. Ladies and gentlemen, let's play this game. Now, I will actually skip the intro, sadly, because copyright and all that on YouTube would get this entire video flagged and taken down, simply because it plays the Star Wars music. So, forgive me while I do skip this very, very beginning intro. Which starts now. And there we are. You could already see the high resolution textures there. I quite enjoy that. We are under attack. There is our rescue.
Ambushed by a Sith battle fleet. The Endar Spire is under attack. Hurry up, we don't have much time.
Oh right, I did have the Skip Terrace mod installed. We're not going to do that. We are going to play through this game as normal, because we want that full experience. Who are you? The Endar Spire? Who are you?
Trask Olgo, ensign with the Republic fleet. I'm your bunkmate here on the Endar Spire. We work opposite shifts. I guess that's why you haven't seen me before. Now hurry up. We have to find Bastila. We have to make sure she makes it off the ship alive.
Who is that? Forget it, I'm looking after my own skin. Let's not start with that just yet.
Bastila is the commanding officer on the Endar Spire. Well, not an officer really, but she's the one in charge of this mission. One of our primary duties is to guarantee her survival in the event of an enemy attack. You swore an oath just like everyone else on this mission. Now it's time to make good on that oath. I know all about your reputation. How you used to smuggle spice and blasters along the Corellian run. I guess the Republic figured since they couldn't catch you, they might as well hire you. I'll admit, the Republic is in desperate need of someone with your kind of skills. Desperate enough to overlook your shady past. But now that you've signed on for this mission, you're part of the Republic fleet. And Bastila needs all troops
I wouldn't call it shady.
attack.
I would call it capable. Also no oath, I'm heading to the escape pods. Well, that's likely in the same way, which is, in this case, outside of that door. So, let's go with the more honorable response and say, let's go help.
So hurry up and grab your gear. You need to suit up so we can get out of here.
Alright. The active quests screen includes important information related to your ongoing adventures. Right, we know about that. Now, the webcam should not cover anything that is too important, which I made sure to make sure of. Seems I came on the right time. Oh yes, you are just in time, hopeful. This is literally the start of this game. It's a pretty old ensign.
You can move the mouse to the edges of the screen to rotate the camera.
Yes.
Alternately, to move towards the footlocker, you can left click and...
Yes. Right, Trask. This isn't our first rodeo. Now, for just 2 beds, these are a lot of couches, a lot of seats, and a lot of tables. And not a lot of toilets. As in, no toilets. This is distressing. I'm not sure if the Republic has there. I wonder if you pick the implants. If they would have given you an implant at the start. I am not sure if the starting items are scripted or not. I'd be interested to find that out.
Come on, we have to hurry.
Yay. Let me get dressed first. You know, a man needs a shave. Stealth field generator. Here we go. Do we go with the blaster? Do we go with the sword? We are definitely going with the blaster because obviously we can't take anything else. What else do we got? We got the med pack, security spike, and a computer spike. Alright,
Okay,
let's do it.
Move out. We should stick together. You'll have more success with a party than on your own.
Alright.
Because of the attack, this room is in lockdown. But don't worry, I've got the override codes. You'll have to use me to unlock the door.
Let's go do that. Now we switch over to...
Left click, left.
Oh, right. That's how you do that.
Yes.
Right. Now we could... I was thinking we could take away his blaster and then give it to us, but that's a bad idea.
Now that the door is open, you better take the lead again.
Oh, don't worry. I always take the lead. A utility droid?
This is Carthel Nasty.
Ooh.
The Sith are threatening to overrun our position. We can't hold out long against their firepower. All hands to the bridge.
That was Karth contacting us on our portable communicators. He's one of the Republic's best pilots. He's seen more combat than the rest of the Endar Spire's crew put together. If he says things are bad, you better believe it. We have to get to the bridge to help defend Bastila. There's a map of the Endar Spire and a copy of Karth's message in your electronic journal, just in case we get separated.
That's okay. Journal entry added. Let me see if I can remember how all this works. We have our inventory, our HP. That is 7 HP. Oh, that's quite the difference. Ooh, okay, so 7 HP versus Trask's 36. Color me jelly. Our alignment, completely grey, of course. Our stats, the modifiers we gain from said stats. Fortitude, reflex, will, experience needed. Let's see, these are our skills, computer use. We have 2 actual ranking in the skill. And our bonus is +4. This is basically our feats, anything, any any equipment that we might have on ourselves, and the whole thing amounts to 6. Now, persuade, of course, very important. Total 7. Prepare. How is stealth looking? +1. I wonder what is giving me the stealth bonus. Probably one of these skill points. Right. The dialogue. And if I click this, we get... Right. In combat, of course, this is going to show you all the exact rolls and all the numbers by which this game works, which is basically dice rolling. Attack on the Endar Spire. Now, these are the journals, the map. I love the Hammerhead Cruiser. Such a pretty ship. Missed you. Right, let's see. Is this...
locked, and I don't have the codes to open it. You'll have to use your security skill on it if we want to get past.
Okay. We, of course, know how that works, but first, perhaps it is wise to activate our stealth first.
No problem. Got it.
And there we go, straight into combat.
These Sith must be the advanced boarding party for the Republic.
For the Republic! Let's... Oh, okay, well, that was our stealth. Can we... Oh, great. Oh, no. Okay, so we can't. Now, Trask ran in face first, because, well, that's just what he does. We're going to stand here and attack, and let him take the... Ah, no, I'll kill him. Uh-oh. This is gonna be a lot of them. Oh! Okay, well, he only had 2 HP.
That won't be our last battle with the Sith. Good thing we have
Oh, don't worry, mate. If they only have 2 HP, we will be fine. We will be fine. We even got a med pack. We are at 5 HP out of 7. Trask having 36. We are absolutely golden, ladies and gentlemen. I think you can get an implant from choosing a different background. I don't remember though. I think that is indeed how it was. I can't quite recall. I never went far enough into the scoundrel or scout tree to really, or classes to really find out. Now I would love to pick up one of these guys as blasters, but I think they actually wielded rifles, which I couldn't handle anyway. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to give Trask a sword, and I'm going to pick up that blaster myself. We have just increased our firepower, and we made Trask the... Yeah, let's just turn that off. And we have made Trask the melee character. Now, let's try this. Again, I've never really worked with stealth, but to survive the early game, we are definitely going to need to find out how that works. Now, you guys should be able to see the action menu just fine. This is good. Oh, okay, so they could actually see me. Ah, no, the idea was for Trask to take the damage. Okay. Now, this game is a little derpy, as in sometimes your character will... Did that do 17 damage? Impressive. I don't even think these things can do 17 damage. Okay, that must be a scripted thing. But yeah, as I said, combat in this game is sometimes a little wonky. It is definitely not the most polished part of this game. However, it is very workable. Sometimes your guy does try to get up right in the face of the enemy before it actually starts firing. Okay, let's see. Grenades, armor, swords. This is good. We can equip Trask with something a little more useful. Short sword, long sword. Give him one of those. Let's see, what else do we have? We have armor. Now, I will be the one equipping that. Actually, maybe we should. Maybe we should let Trask have that. He'll be the one going into combat.
Yes?
We are hopefully going to stay back and will not be attacked. Oh, we also got a ton of grenades right now. Should probably use those. As this background, you really need to make sure you use your items optimally. As the scoundrel, there's definitely not a lot of room for error. Of course, the Sith are numerous, and they don't quite give a shit about their comrades. Now, as you'll see with the enhanced textures, I am fine with upgrading the texture resolution. I just don't like modifying the models in this game, because I think that does detract from the aesthetic quite a bit. And I'm going to send Trask in first. Hang on, so can I actually stealth? I'll try this again. Now, we need to be within 10 meters of a target. I don't quite know just exactly... Oh, actually, wait, hang on. I think we may be able to grenade everything. Though, if I press grenade here, everyone might start firing at me, and then I might die. But if I sneak attack one of them and kill them, then they're all going to be attacking anyway. So we're going to try the grenade. Okay. Well, that only was most of them. Run! Quick, get out of sight range. Send Trask in first, and now let's attack. Got him. Get our grenade back. Get some credits. How's Trask doing?
To use an item like a med pack or another self-target.
Okay, Trask is fine.
Right of the script.
But no, I don't want to.
Third icon.
I don't want to know about the action menu. I know the action menu. I've been playing this game for ages. Right, that is the bridge. First we want to loot these guys. Get some more mola. Mola. Get more med packs. At this point it's irresponsible not to just use one to gain our 6 health back. Sounds like someone with the lightsabers behind him. Which means we would get wrecked if we went there. Chat is doing fine. The stream looks fine. This is excellent.
It's a Dark Jedi. This fight is too much for us. We better stay back. All we do is get in the way.
Completely agree. I mean, you can at least give some supporting fire, right? When I first played this game and I saw this, I was like, holy shit, we can pick up 2 lightsabers now. This is going to be really good. And then of course, as we will soon figure out, our dude's not quite awake yet. He is not hitting shit. Trask is dealing all the damage. That is fine. And then of course, as we find out, you cannot actually pick up the lightsabers. This I found very disappointing. We can of course loot them dry, which we did. Now onto the bridge. If I recall correctly, there's a lot of stuff here. Stealth is kinda not exactly useless in KOTOR 1, but not the best. It's a weird thing. Yeah, that's what I find as well.
Beyond that door, you better equip your melee weapon. There isn't much room on the bridge, and it's suicide to use a blaster in close quarters. I should equip a melee weapon too. Either that, or I'll have to stay back and use my blaster.
No, no, no. You are going straight in and in front of me, because otherwise I will die. I am a wet paper bag. What if they have lightsabers?
Your melee weapon is made using a cortosis weave. It's strong enough to stand up against anything, even a lightsaber.
Alright, so Trask wants us to go in with a melee weapon. I think that is a very poor idea for a 7 HP character. So we're going to...
Close quarters, huh?
Okay, so he's gonna force us to equip a... Alright, now this is the plan. Open the door, then quickly switch back, stay behind and provide fire support for Trask, while he hopefully kills everyone. Okay. Now Trask, open that door. Okay, voila. Now, quickly switch back to something we can actually wield in combat. Like these. And... Louis grenade? Nah, we can just... Okay, you kill him. Trask can kill him. Don't walk up to him, please. Total of 7 damage.
Not here on the bridge. They must have retreated to the escape pods. We better head that way too. The Sith want
Great, we're going to the escape pods anyway.
The ship, there's nothing stopping them from blasting the Endar Spire into galactic dust.
Now, of course, the conundrum of this game. The bridge of the Hammerhead cruiser does not match what it actually looks like from the outside. Leading a lot of people to speculate that this ship is actually way smaller than the officially stated 315 meters. Which, I mean, looking at this bridge, you could kind of agree with, right? Right, now I think it's going to force us to level up first, which is of course not a problem. I wonder how much information you can get from a screen like this, but it is a fancy graphic. You have enough experience to level up. You must level up before passing through the door. Okay. Level up. Now, we can auto level up. However, we are obviously not going to do that. We're going to manually level up our skills, our feats. We have 9 points to spend, ladies and gentlemen. Let us get that 1 extra persuade very quickly. Security, no computer use, sadly. Now we can advance both demolition and stealth, but awareness, I mean, having some treat injury at least will be useful, right? To at least get back that little bit of health that we do have. I really don't think that's too useful. Now maybe demolition's okay, maybe like 2 more. But that's about as much as I want to put into demo. And stealth is something I do not plan on using a lot, so we're going to save these points for the next level. Feats. Let's see. You want the screens in Star Wars to actually show useful information instead of random shapes? Have you seen the consoles in this franchise? Oh, I'm well aware, Nico. I'm very well aware, don't worry. I'm still eyeing toughness, but toughness will only be useful after maybe level 5. I think rapid shot though, now that would be an improvement to our current situation, though the implants definitely are going to be useful once we get some. Caution. Medium armor, not quite useful right now. Gives a +1 skill points to both demolition and stealth, which are like exactly what I don't really need. So yeah, saving throws, implants, or rapid shot, and of those I really think rapid shot is going to be the better option. So we're going to accept, and then we are going to... Oh, look, now we have 14 health. What level is... Oh, he's level... Okay, so then we would have 21 HP. Here you can really see the difference between the soldier and the scoundrel class.
Something behind here.
Alright.
Damn, another Dark Jedi. I'll try to hold him off. You get to the escape pods. Go!
Quick, I'll sacrifice myself. Run! Now, of course, you can't actually get through this door to try to help Trask, and doing so would be suicide regardless, even if you could. So, what we are going to do is we're going to activate our stealth. And then... Oh, okay, you don't actually have to. Interesting. My health has doubled since last time we met Sith Trooper.
I'm tracking your position
Yes.
through the Endar Spire's life support systems. Basila's escape pod is away.
I mean, it's a 100% increase. I mean, what's not to love?
Much longer. You have to get to the escape pods, but be careful. There's a Sith patrol just down the corridor. Use your stealth skill to sneak past him.
Okay. Now, we're of course not going to sneak past them. We're going to attack. But first, we need to get in close and then throw a grenade. Or use rapid shot. Now, grenade is pretty much a guaranteed kill. Rapid shot may not be. Do we grenade? Do we rapid shot? We have 7 grenades. We're never going to use these grenades anyway, but he does have to stop moving. Oh, don't get caught in the crossfire, of course. Throwing grenades at yourself sadly happens more in this game than you would like. Oh shit, that didn't actually kill him. Rapid shot. Okay, well that was okay. Any remains? No loot. That door looks positively smashed. Let's see, what's our HP looking like? 12 out of 14. We're fine. Go stealth, open this door. Just as a heads up, I got a bug while playing the game that makes it impossible for you to move after you exit combat. You have to quick save and quick load to save it. To fix it. F4, then F5. Alright, thank you. Oh, you're right, the thing is screen stuck. Alright, well this is interesting. Thank you guys for letting me know that. I will save the game. Save 1. Now my game is fine, however the stream is absolutely not. Let me quickly try to fix that for you guys. Okay. So we do this, and then we go back. Thank you guys for the heads up. I do of course have the stream up so I can see things like this happening. Okay, let's see. If I start moving now, does it update the game and the stream? Yes, it does. Okay. I'm sorry for the inconvenience, ladies and gentlemen. We just threw a grenade at a Sith Trooper and then shot him to death. After he barely survived the blast, you missed not a lot. Out of my way, indeed. Ooh. Now, I am unsure if this one grenade is going to hit both of these guys. We can rapid shot first and get that extra sweet bit of damage to our attack. But wait a second. If we sneak past and repair the droid, then the droid will take care of the Sith and we still get the XP. We save our grenade. There. Don't mind me, guys. I'm just quickly going to unscrew this panel, change a little bit of the wiring. I mean, the droid may magically come alive, but you didn't see shit. Reactivate the droid. Oh, okay. Now we have 1 repair part. 6 repair skill, but not enough to do anything. Oh, wait. Hang on a second. Oh, shit. That, one of these lockers must have contained the parts, and I did not open it. Okay. So, we still throw the grenade. That actually killed him. That droid isn't doing shit. This is a problem. We are also not hitting shit. We are actually Ray Charles.
Be careful. There's a whole squad of
Got him anyway.
on the other side of that door. You need to find some way to thin their numbers. You could reprogram the damaged assault droid to help you if you have enough repair parts. Or
Thank you.
You could use computer spikes to slice into the terminal and use the Endar Spire's security systems against the Sith.
I will keep that in mind, Karth. Thank you very much. First, we have to find those items, which are located in this footlocker. Yes, and there are the repair parts. Now, we're going to let this, let's see, computer 6, repair 6. We have more repair parts, so let's engage the droid. While we hang back. We get the XP received, and when the droid kills these units, we still get the XP from the dead soldiers. Nico saying everything is fine. I highly disagree. Vam, vam, vam. Now, I'm afraid that we cannot take the droid with us in the escape pod. Also, that window looks dangerously close to cracking. Right, and now we could overload it, but actually that would have cost us less spikes than it cost us repair parts. That's fine. Let's see. Find these remains. Prototype Vibro Blade. Now this is, I think, the first upgradable item we get in the game. Repair kits. Medics. Anything else? No, ladies and gentlemen. I think we are ready to leave this ship.
Just in time. There's only 1 active escape pod left. Come on, we can hide out on the planet below.
Who are you? How do I know I can trust you? Let's start with who are you. Let's start with a friendly conversation.
I'm a soldier with Republic, like you. We're the last 2 crew members left in the Endar Spire. Basila's escape pod's already gone, so there's no reason for us to stick around here and get shot by the Sith. Now, come on, there'll be time for questions later.
I agree. Let's get the hell out. Can we access this? No. Your only hope of survival, step away from it. I always like that option. Doesn't do anything, of course, but... Now, we hope that the game takes this. This is one of those scene transitions I was talking about earlier, where the widescreen patch has a couple of difficulties. Yeah, this ship really does not look much larger than a frigate, or than a corvette. Like 150 meters long at most. Bad dreams.
Whoa, hold on. Don't try and get up yet. You were smashed up pretty bad when we crash landed here on Terrace. Don't worry, we should be safe here in this apartment. I gave you something to help you sleep. Just get some rest and let the Koltopax do their job.
Okay. I think that's new dialogue, actually. I don't think I've ever heard that before in this game. This is the restored content patch at work, of course. It doesn't add much to the game, especially KOTOR 1. But it does add that little bit of extra that was removed before release. Which, as a returning player, I very much do appreciate. Keeping the game a little bit novel. Just adds that little bit of intrigue.
Instead of thrashing about in your sleep, you must have been having one hell of a nightmare. I was wondering if you were ever going to wake up. I'm Karth, one of the Republic soldiers.
Like a girl, she was swinging a lightsaber, stuff was going on, there was a fight, everyone was sweaty, kung fu fighting. They might have been fast as lightning. It's a strange dream, like a vision. Right, I'm Duran, by the way. How did we get here?
We've been slipping in and out of consciousness for a couple of days now, so I imagine you're pretty confused about things, but try not to worry. We're safe. At least for the moment. We're in an abandoned apartment on the planet of Terrace. The We banged up pretty bad when our escape pod crashed, but luckily I wasn't seriously hurt. I was able to drag you away from our crash site in all the confusion, and I stumbled into this abandoned apartment.
Alright.
By the time the Sith arrived on the scene, we were long gone.
The Sith? I owe you my life. Thanks. So, are we just going to wait here for the Republic to rescue us? No, we are not going to do that. Seems like a poor life choice. Yes, I owe you my life. Let's start with a thank you. Nobody's ever received a thank you and they said, you know what, mate, fuck you.
You don't have to thank me. I've never abandoned anyone on a mission, and I'm
well,
not
maybe
about to
besides
start now.
Garth, but...
Besides, I'm gonna need your help. Terrace is under Sith control.
Come on,
fleet
Garth.
is orbiting the planet. They've declared
Be a fucking
martial
man.
law,
Accept
and
that.
they've
Thank
imposed a
you.
planet-wide quarantine.
Say you're welcome.
But I've been in worse spots. I saw on your service records that you understand a remarkable number of alien languages.
Oh, pretty skilled
That's
guy.
pretty rare in a raw recruit. But it should come
No,
in
my
handy while
intelligence
we're
level's
stranded
at
on a foreign
14.
world. There is no
Our
way
modifier,
the Republic will be able
plus
to get
3.
anyone through the Sith blockade to help us. If we're gonna find Bastila and get off this planet, we can't rely on anybody but ourselves.
But what is so important about Bastila?
That smack to your head did more damage than I thought. Bastila's a Jedi. She was with the strike team that killed Darth Revan, Malik's
Shots fired.
master. Bastila's the key to the whole Republic war effort. The Sith must have found out that she was on the Endar Spire and set an ambush for us in this system. I believe Bastila was on one of the escape pods that crashed down here in Terrace. For the sake of the Republic war effort, we have to try and find her.
Emperor Nico say... Oh, how did you manage, Topologist? How did you manage to run it in 16:9? The program I am using is called Flawless Widescreen. It is a suite for a wide variety of old school games, Knights of the Old Republic being one of them. It is not without its flaws, and every time you restart the game you will have to reset your resolution, then exit the game, go back in and then set your resolution again. But once you do that, it will basically run in 1080p for the remainder of your play session. There is a slight bit of problems where if you pick a... if you go in between scenes, such as when you switch planets or play a cutscene, there is a very small chance of crashing, so always be sure to save often, which you should be doing anyway, of course. But other than that, it is fine. The program again is called Flawless Widescreen. I guess they didn't wait to pick up any of the soldiers from the ship, just blew it up. I mean, they're the Sith, right? You're out for days and you're standing the moment you wake up. Well, this is a pretty impressive guy. How can one person, even a Jedi, be so important? Bastila's a Jedi. How did you know still alive? Well, I mean, you gotta hope for that, right? An idea where we should start look. Oh no, wait. Let's first ask, why is she so important?
Bastila is no ordinary Jedi. She has a rare gift the Jedi call battle meditation. Bastila's power can influence entire armies. Through the Force, Bastila can inspire her allies with confidence and make her enemies lose their will to fight. Often that's all it takes to tip the balance of the battle. Of course, there are limits to what she can do. From what I understand of her ability, it requires great concentration and focus to make.
Is the music too loud, guys?
The attack on the Endar Spire happened so fast, she never had a chance to use her battle
I'll turn it down.
meditation. Like us, she barely got out alive.
If only she could actually use that battle meditation in battle. Wouldn't that be useful? So what do you suggest we do next? We'll probably look for her. Cheesatello, 5th Turtle. Now that's a name. Welcome to the stream, mate. We are playing some Knights of the Old Republic. So what do we suggest we do next? Probably look for her, but... I don't want to sound like a dummy. Let's just say she can probably look after us.
Bastila's gonna need our help. Many of Darth Malik's followers can use the dark side of the Force, and the Sith have already killed more than their share of Jedi in this war. Nobody will be looking for a couple of common soldiers like us, and if we're careful, we can move about the planet without attracting notice. A luxury Bastila won't have. She's gonna have half the Sith fleet looking for her. They know how important she is.
Go ahead, Cheese.
The whole planet is under quarantine. No ships can land.
Post the widescreen link.
So, if Bastila's gonna escape Terrace, she's gonna need our help, and we'll probably need hers.
Alright, well, what's in this for me? How about staying alive? If it means getting off this planet, I guess I can help you find Bastila. Well, that's again such a dick thing to say, but everything else makes us look like an idiot, so let's go
We're
with
gonna
it.
need to work together if we're gonna survive. While you were out, I did some scouting around. There are reports of a couple of escape pods crashing down into the Undercity. It's probably a good place to start. But the Undercity's a dangerous place. We don't want to go there unprepared, and it won't do Bastila any good if we go and get ourselves killed.
Well, I mean, we do have 14 HP, so I'm sure that'll go swimmingly. I'm gonna ask some questions. Yeah, let's see what we can
though I don't know how much
get out of good Karth here. What do you know about Malak and the Sith? Of course, once you first start this game, there's a lot of name dropping that happens, like Revan, Malak, the Sith. What's happening? What's happening? This is basically a little bit of exposition. I will let our character go through it for you guys, in case you've never played this game before. Which, of course, since this game now being 15 years old, or about 16, there's a good chance many of you haven't. Which is unfortunate, since it is worth a playthrough.
Everything I know about Malak is pretty much common knowledge. He escaped the trap that killed Darth Revan, his Sith master. With Revan's death, Malak became the new Dark Lord. It's obvious that Malak's a ruthless tyrant who'll crush anyone who stands in his way, just like Revan was. Experience has shown that the Sith won't stop until the Republic lies in ruins. Malak and his Sith don't respect anything except raw, brutal power. It's hard to imagine how someone who used to be a Jedi could become such a monster.
A Jedi? What do you mean? Sounds like Malak and the Sith have the right idea. Let's not start down that path just yet. Don't worry, we'll find a way to stop them. Right. Exposition.
Malak and Revan were once both part of the Jedi Order, but they were young and headstrong, and against the wishes of the Council, they went to battle the Mandalorians on the Outer Rim.
I would have expected you as a soldier to appreciate that, actually, Karth.
Drew them over to the dark side. Or maybe there was something rotten inside them all along. I don't know. They formed an army of ex-Republic soldiers and Jedi who'd fallen to the dark side, with Revan at their head, until Revan was killed by Bastila's Jedi strike team. But even that didn't slow the Sith down. Malak just stepped in and assumed Revan's role. He took control of the Sith Armada and resumed bloody conquest of the Outer Worlds.
Alright, don't worry, we'll find a way to stop the Sith and save the galaxy.
Right, but the Republic hasn't been able to stop them so far, even with the support of the Jedi Council. I think Bastila may be the galaxy's last hope.
Cool, well here I am. Yeah, let's go find her.
We can use this abandoned apartment as a base. We can probably get some equipment and supplies here in the upper city. Just remember to keep a low profile. I've heard some grim stories about the Dark Jedi interrogation techniques. They say the Force can do terrible things to a mind. It can wipe away your memories and destroy your very identity. But I figure if we don't do anything stupid, we should be okay. I mean, after all, they're looking for Bastila, not a couple of grunts like us. Alright, soldier, let's move out.
Let's do it. Now, here we have our own terrace apartment. I think I'm going to do a quick save here. These are all previous playthroughs. This is from ages ago. Save 2. Locker. Computer, spike, and medpack. Let me see if everyone is up. Key to the whole Republic war effort. Let's travel in a single small ship instead of a fleet. Well, I mean, the Republic didn't have a lot to spare here, Nico. At least, I think at this point they were beaten up pretty bad. Throughout the game, you will find weapons and armor that are marked as upgradable. These items can be improved by the addition of an upgrade item. With upgrade items, you can use this workbench to construct new, more powerful version of upgradable weapons, ranged weapons, melee weapons, lightsabers, and armor. Use the workbench. Now, currently we have no lightsabers, upgradable ranged weapons, or armor. We only have our melee weapon, which is basically our vibro sword. Vibro blade. Let's see, what is this thing again? This is the prototype vibro blade. Let's equip this cell because we have nothing else to spend it on. Might as well. And then, of course, let's check out Karth. Now, oh, he's not yet in the party. Okay. Combat suit. Let's see. Anything else? Ion blaster. This will be useful against droids, since we are probably not going to run into those. At least, hopefully not. Anytime soon. We will stick to our blasters. Anything else useful? We got nothing particular. Let us move out.
Yes. What's on your mind?
After we... Okay. Well, never mind.
You got it.
Let's go. He's also dual-wielding blasters. We'll be switching him over to swords shortly. Every time you leave the apartment, you must select which party members you wish to take. Right. Now, since we only have Karth, let's add Karth.